The State of Crypto is presented by Tron, connecting the world to the power of cryptocurrency.
All right, it has been a very rocky year for BlockFi. Earlier this year, the company liquidated a large client and needed a line of credit from, guess who? FTX to survive. A few weeks ago, it suspended withdrawals due to a lack of clarity surrounding, guess who? FTX. And yesterday, it filed for bankruptcy protection. Today, it will make its first appearance in bankruptcy court. Joining us to discuss that and more now is Nick Day, Managing Editor of Global Policy and Regulation. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning.
Okay, so what's really going on? What can we expect? What are the questions you're looking to get answered this morning?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, BlockFi is going to be appearing in court in about an hour and a half, in about 2.5 hours from right now, to explain its current situation. Based on filings that we've received so far, the company is expected to say it has somewhere between $1 and $10 billion worth of assets, as well as $10 billion worth of liabilities. Has around $257 million cash on hand. A lot of that appears to have come from BlockFi selling off cryptocurrencies over the past couple of weeks to basically create some liquidity for itself. And the company does expect to continue operating, but we've also heard that there may be layoffs. So it may be continuing to operate, but perhaps not at the current size that it is right now. This is the fourth major bankruptcy in the U.S., the third major crypto lender to go bankrupt. It's been definitely a rough year for that section of the industry in general. So I think BlockFi's bankruptcy was not a surprise to anyone who has been watching these space, and especially not anyone who, as you mentioned earlier, is aware that BlockFi had received a line of credit from FTX earlier, which of course filed for bankruptcy a couple of weeks ago and had its own first day hearing just 1 week ago.
And at the same time, it also sued FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried's Emergent Fidelity Technologies. I mean, how does that work? You file for bankruptcy and you also sue at the same time?
Yeah, so what appears to have happened is that Sam Bankman-Fried has allegedly promised some amount of funding, or borrowed possibly some funding from BlockFi, and promised Robinhood shares as collateral. Now, after FTX filed for bankruptcy, BlockFi asked for those shares, asked for the collateral to help pay off whatever obligations were owed. Now, FTX going through bankruptcy process, all of its assets are frozen right now, and so they refused. And BlockFi has now sued to try and basically secure control of these assets, possibly to liquidate and to generate more liquidity or more funding, or for other reasons.
So they basically, though, I mean, how long does this? Do we have any sense of how long they're going to be stuck there doing this, trying to get their Robinhood shares, or this is just sort of like a shot in the dark? Do we even know?
It does seem a bit more like the latter. So the problem with bankruptcies in general is they take a while, right? If a company collapses, the legal process can take years. And we've seen this before, right? Mt. Gox is still ongoing. It's still going through the legal process. And that was years and years ago. FTX is just at the beginning of this. And I think it's going to depend on FTX, not BlockFi's bankruptcy process, because FTX has the additional complication of there are, early stage criminal investigations into the company. And that means that whatever happens in the bankruptcy process may end up getting paused if the criminal investigations have to either, continue looking at specific issues or, asking questions or whatever. So, this process will definitely take a while. It's going to probably take years. We don't have a clear sense yet. And, we probably still need to hear from FTX on the Robinhood shares and, just what exactly is going on there in the whole timeline.
So they got to hope Robinhood doesn't go out of business.
Right.
Nick, when you say take years, what does this mean for customer funds? Are customers, do you mean like it will take years for customers potentially to get their money back? Or is there a chance that customers won't get their money back at all? And do we have a sense of how much customer money we're talking about?
So BlockFi hasn't, at least as when I checked last, BlockFi hadn't given out a clear picture exactly of just what it owes customers. As I mentioned, they checked off the box that says they have between $1 and $10 billion in liabilities, and clearly they don't have the cash to meet that. The company did file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, meaning they plan to restructure and come back, not Chapter 7. They're not going to liquidate and just sell off everything. So they seem to think that they can meet their customers' needs, but it will not be a quick process unless everything just slots into place for BlockFi. These bankruptcies can drag on for quite a while. Celsius, another crypto lender which filed for bankruptcy earlier this year, we're still in the early stages of that particular company's process. So clearly it's going to take a while.